4 killed in the Kogi Monarch's Palace explosion. Tribunal affirms victory of APC's Biodun Oyebanji as Ekiti State Governor. Newly recruited 10,000 police constables to be deployed for the 2023 Nigeria general elections. Still tonight on Politics HQ, Senegal's opposition calls for protest over alleged COVID-19 funds mismanagement. Rwanda accuses Congolese warplane of violating its airspace. I'm Sulaiman Aledeh. My guest tonight, Dr. Patrick Dakum, Labour Party governorship candidate, Plateau State. And of course, pretty much later, we'll be digging deep to look at the politics within the Labour Party with Peter Obi's spokesman. First, Osuntokun was in line to become the senatorial candidate of the Zenith Labour Party in Ekiti State. Still on the call of the national arm of the Labour Party, he said he had to ditch personal ambitions. That's it on Politics HQ when we come back. Well, it looks like a Labour Party affair tonight on Politics HQ. Osuntokun was in line to become the senatorial candidate of the Zenith Labour Party in Ekiti State. Still on the call of the national arm of the Labour Party, he said he had to ditch personal ambitions for what he termed higher national priority. Criticism and commendation have trailed Osuntokun's appointment as the Director General of the Labour Party's Presidential Campaign Council. With just over 50 days to the election, the party is battling to cause an upset against stronger parties. To many Nigerians and supporters of the party, it's the worst time to be involved in internal battles and conflicts. Facing significant political structures naturally demands a sense of unity and direction from the Labour Party. At the HQ today, we go deeper than deep into the story. We see where the struggles are coming from, who the actors are, and what the party becomes as a result. Now, how does the party's internal affairs affect the chances of its presidential candidate, Peter Obi? But tonight, we're looking at the aspiration of Dr. Patrick Dakum, who is the Labour Party governorship candidate in Plateau State. Dr. Dakum, good to see you, and thanks for your time as always. First, congratulations, and we understand that your campaign has been going to nook and crannies of your state. First, let us understand why Labour Party.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Sulaiman. I think it's a privilege to be on air and to have this conversation. Why Labour Party? Labour Party, I think you need to look at it from two perspectives. One perspective is a movement. The other is a party. If you look at it from the movement, there are several people that are not in the Labour Party, but are in the movement for a better Nigeria, a movement for a better Plateau State, as it directly affects me. So for me, I think this is the yearning of people of Nigeria. It's a yearning of people in Plateau State. They want something different from the past, and Labour Party presents that option. But I must say that it goes beyond the issue of just a movement or a party. It also goes to what is the party offering as its philosophy for governance. And I think that if we begin to look at political parties based on their philosophies, I think we will begin to gravitate into what we have in the developed country, where it is very clear when people are coming out for election, they are coming out based on some basic principles that they must, use as their guideline. The Labour Party, first of all, is a workers' party. Workers in the sense that not just civil servants or public servants, but also is the party for the market woman. It's a party for the mechanic. It's a party for the road transport worker. It's a party that was established to answer the call of majority of Nigerians who are working. And so for me, the Labour Party presents a very, very good platform for me to, further my political career, but also to be able to speak from an issue based, rather than speaking things that tomorrow, if I'm held accountable, I'm held accountable only as Dr. Dakum. My party will be held accountable also.
Dr. Dakum, you're a professional, and today you're getting in politics. It's exciting and comforting to hear you talk about people holding you to account just in the future on account of what you may do ultimately if you're elected as governor of your state. Now, aren't you also concerned, talking about the behemoth now, talking about the PDP and other bigger before now political parties in your state? It looks to quite a number of persons as a Herculean task for a Dakum-led campaign trail to make incursion in Plateau State.
First of all, I'll go back to the statement I made, and that is the issue of a movement. And I'm going to back it up with an example of what has happened in my state specifically. In my state, I don't know whether to call it unfortunate, but that the state normally will want to see good governance. And if they don't see it, they switch. So we have, for example, from 1999 to 2007, we have Chief Joshua Dare as the governor of the state. Subsequently, we had Jonah Jang, then we had Lalong. The situation that brought Lalong to power is the kind of situation that we find ourselves now, and that is the decision of the Plateau people for what they call a Plateau project, because one of its guiding principles in terms of electioneering was violated. And that principle was a simple principle that in Plateau State we respect zoning. And we believe that if one zone has occupied and has done the required 2 terms, then it moves to another zone, then another zone. Dare was from the central zone where I come from. And after that, it came to the northern zone where Jonah Jang was. And after then, Jonah Jang had a candidate in the PDP that was from the same northern zone. And Plateau people said, no, this is a violation of the basic principles of what Plateau State believed in. And it moved to the southern zone. Now, note, it had no relationship with party. It had to do with the people of Plateau, because people of Plateau want to decide who governs them. They don't want to be governed by somebody that is imposed by anybody. And so for Plateau State in 2015, a party that did not have any what is called structures, as usually is the accusation that some people that don't understand what the labor movement is all about do to say no structure. Well, the APC never had any in Plateau in 2015, but the APC won election. If anybody had told you at that time that the APC in Plateau State was going to win the governorship seat, the answer would be definitely no. But Plateau people made a decision. And once they have decided based on principles that they all believe should be, then they take a decision. Now, we are in a situation now in Plateau State whereby the principle of zoning has not been violated. But the principle of good governance has been largely violated because people cannot see good governance. Secondly, the issue of imposition of candidates at the primaries also comes to play. And I believe that this, along with also the decision at the national level for Plateau people, the majority believe that the decisions taken by the other major political parties did not go down well with them. And so for that reason, they need a change. But I think if you are to ask me what is the biggest driving force for Plateau State going Labour, is the need for a better Nigeria and a need for a better Plateau State. You just talk to the people, and I've been going around the state. I've gone around the 17 local governments a couple of times in the past. And now in Labour Party, I'm almost completing going around.
And when you go around, first again, thanks reminding our viewers that your state has had a taste of the PDP and now the APC. And you're also saying that it looks like, a dissatisfied people of Plateau State, and they're looking for alternative, and you feel that the Labour Party is that alternative. And going around the communities, the local government, 17 of them in Plateau State, what are the key concerns of an average Plateau indigene or person who lives in Plateau State?
Let me answer it this way. The key concern of the majority of people on the plateau is security, security, security. People yearn for a peaceful Plateau State. The slogan for Plateau State has always been Plateau State, home of peace and tourism. Now, if peace is broken, tourism is thrown out the window. So for people of Plateau State, peace is, I would say, number one priority. Number two priority, of course, will be the people of Plateau State yearn for an economic turnaround. Economic turnaround in the sense that provide us, don't come and give us money, but open the pathway and provide the enabling environment for us to do the things that we are good at. And if you want us to go that route, I can talk to you a lot about that. But let me just say the economy and peace and security should be the number one and number two. And then we can go further as we talk. But now let me also say something directly apart from that. You know, I know this state very well, but it's not just knowing because I have occupied certain positions that gave me the privilege of going around. But I also have been a community worker. And it has also enabled me to not just go around Plateau, but around Nigeria. There are roads that naturally will take you just about 10 minutes drive, but it takes you an hour or 2 hours. It's huge, really huge. Early this morning, I was in a meeting with a community in a local government called Bassa. And there is a road that goes to the local government headquarters. And they said, will you want to talk about this road? I said, I don't want to talk about this road because every politician for many years back, right from the days of 1979, have used this road as a political promise to the community. They all come, they all say, this is your road, we are going to do it. This is your road, we are going to do it. It never gets done. And it has not been done. So when I sat down with them, they said, will you want to talk about the road? I said, I don't want to talk about the road. I just want to do the road when I get there. Whatever are the jinx and whatever are the things that are stopping it, I'm already putting my thinking cap on, talking to my team, and we're working to see how we will go to work on day one. So for me, I think infrastructure of this state is very, 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 deplorable.
And Dr. Dakum, now you're talking about infrastructure. One other area that the people on the plateau will want to hear you speak to has to do with health. You're a virologist, you're a doctor, you're a medical doctor, you're a professor, and people are concerned about the sudden almost disappearance of PHC. And now we're talking about primary health care centers. So help us make, give us a bird's eye view of what this would mean for anyone on the plateau should you be elected.
Well, first, thank you very much, Sulaiman. That's very key. When I talk about infrastructure, I think I talked about one, and that was road. But infrastructure in the health sector, in the educational sector, is also fairly deplorable. The human capital is also very poor in terms of what we need to do to get near to what the ratio that is required. But you asked specifically about primary health care. Incidentally, I'm a public health physician. And for me, I think the turnaround in any health sector revolves around primary health care. And when we say primary health care, we're not just talking about the building, we're also talking about basic prevention. Because like we all say, and you all know, prevention is better than cure. So for us, I think the hub of any proper healthcare that will affect the majority of people is the primary healthcare center. I work in the Institute of Human Virology, which is a non-governmental organization, and I've been CEO for the past, 17 years there. And I can tell you that has taken me to different parts of the country, and in my home state here, of course, all over the state. And It's unfortunate that you walk into a primary healthcare center, which, by the way, is a primary responsibility of the local government. But of course, as a state, you have a responsibility to provide all that it takes. One, to have the staff that are properly trained. I was Commissioner of Health, Sulaiman, and as Commissioner of Health, what I did there to ensure that we strengthen the manpower that is in the primary healthcare was to convert and ensure that the School of Health Technologies also are degree awarding, and they become colleges of health technology. That increases or provides a better, qualification that is needed to go in there, and therefore improve on the quality of manpower that is there. You can't believe that here we are in Plateau State, how many years down the line created, but it is extremely, I don't know whether there are up to 2 local governments that have doctors that are working in the primary healthcare center. I'm not talking about the Directorate of Primary Healthcare. I'm talking about the primary healthcare centers. I did my National Youth Service as a doctor in Ondo State, and that was in 1984 and 1983. And in that year, I was posted to a primary healthcare center. And there were 2 or 3 other health centers in Akure then that had doctors that were full-time working there. So when we're talking about manpower, we're not talking about just the community health extension workers, nurses, and midwives, but also to have trained doctors there that can do a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So the infrastructure and building is one, but the human capital is the other. But related to that also is to ensure that they need all they need. They have all they need in terms of what to do to respond to outbreaks. Let's use COVID as an example. We have emergency operation centers that have been set up all over the country. If you go to any of those emergency operating centers here now, it's difficult for you to see a ready-to-go team that if they say there is an outbreak there, can we mobilize and go? It is difficult. So for me professionally, I will make sure that whatever it takes to be prepared for emergencies and handle emergencies at primary healthcare level is done. But the state government has key responsibility for the secondary healthcare. And unfortunately for us, when I was Commissioner of Health in 2003, the number of doctors that we had there is less than the number that there is now. I had about almost 50 doctors or so that were in enrollment. And now, if you take out the specialist hospital, they are much less than that. So are we growing or we're coming down?
In asking that question, sorry to butt in here, let me quickly bring in one key aspect of your professional calling, which is prevention being better than a cure, and see if we can actually relate that to the issue of security, which you highlighted earlier on. Quite frankly, the rest of Nigeria all is pained and concerned looking at the security situation in a once upon peaceful Plateau State. So, speaking of resolution and ultimately preventing a recurrence, what kind of mapping are you hoping to put in place to ensuring that the question of clashes and crises as it relates to security in Plateau State are actually nipped in the bud?
First of all, I think if we are going to look at the issue of security, and for me with the background of being a public health man, I'm always thinking about prevention, and I'm thinking about treatment, and I'm thinking about, promoting health. In terms of promoting a very good, peaceful coexistence, the state has what it is called a peace agency here. The peace agency is a very good invention by the government, but I must also say that it's too understaffed. Number two, its linkages with who are those that will promote peace at the village level, at the community level, I think also requires a lot of strengthening. So in terms of promoting peace, we need to promote it in such a way that there is coexistence and mutual brotherhood, and take us back to once upon a time that we were on the plateau. when I can go to the settlement of the Fulani and drink my nono, and they can also come, and after I finish my farming, they can also bring their animals to feed on a mutual agreement, where there are issues that come up. Our village head sits down with the ARDO and with this in order to now settle it. Those things are still possible to reactivate the community structures to support what the peace agency is doing. That is one. Number two is that you need to also strengthen what I call the semi-kinetic aspects of maintaining peace. Semi-kinetic in the sense that once there is an outbreak of crisis or a breakdown in peace, who is the first respondent and who is the one that's, has the first casualty? Is the immediate community. Who are the people that once there's a problem, the community say, hey, the problem here, it is the vigilante. It is the Hunters Association. We need to strengthen those structures at the community level. Because if we do, they take care of the minor and the fairly moderate and are also able to delay anything major until help comes from the task force. Now, so strengthening the vigilante and the tourism and the Hunters Association and also the community structures is a key aspect of the, I call semi-kinetic. And then, of course, you have got to also ensure that they say that the governor does not have any authority over police, over army, over NSCDC, and they are the ones that have the force to come and stop anything major. But I said, yes, it is true for now. But we are not going to be helpless and hamstrung to say that, oh, I can't do anything. I'm a poor governor here, and allow my people to die. No. What I'm going to do is to ensure that the interconnectivity between the joint forces is properly maintained by providing them with what it takes, communication gadgets. But above all, to ensure that any funding that I give, Sulaiman, you see, let me do a little broken English. You no go give somebody work, no go find out how the work they go. And what I mean by that is that Plateau State, for example, I have many retired generals. I have many retired colonels, retired DIGs here. They all live, those that are resident on the plateau, whether they are indigenous or plateau or whether they're residents, they are here and will make use of them. So I will not tell you that while I have the broad picture, the minute details, I will deceive myself that I'm the expert on that. No, my job as a governor, get these experts to sit down and then I give them a target. You see, every police station you go into, Sulaiman, you are going to find the statistics of the crime there. X number of housebreaking, X number of kidnapping, X number of attacks. So at the police commissioner's office, the summary is there. Me, as governor, with my security chiefs, with my security advisors, what will it take for us to bring down this to what I will call a manageable figure? You cannot wipe it out completely. Okay, but you can bring it out to a manageable level whereby people can go about their lives and their livelihoods in comfort. And I will say that, okay, I want this thing to go down 20-30% in year one or 50% in year one. What do we need? Oh, we need vehicles. We need this. We need that. My job as a governor when it comes to security is not to pride myself that I cut tape. You cut tape, ha, 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 they clap for you. The indicators that measure peace and security, are they going down or going up? Are we getting worse or we're getting better? If we're not getting better, something is wrong with my advisor, something is wrong with the commissioner of police or the GOC or whoever, then we need to look for help to change these people.
Let's close on this. You know, every time it looks like the Labour Party has a pattern, speaking sometimes to the very issue that the ordinary Nigerian is talking about either in communities or social media. Is it one of those political tricks to woo voters, or that's the make of the Labour Party?
Like I told you, the Labour Party was established by a joint group. NLC was actually involved, TUC was actually involved. So it's the Workers' Party. It means then that whatever is aching the man down there on the ground, that is the concern of the Labour Party. That's the concern of people who should care about people, that go about their daily activities trying to earn a living. Look, I can tell you, Nigerians, especially our young people, are hardworking. They are very determined to do what they need to do. All they need is an opportunity. All they need is a peaceful existence to be able to do it. That's why you keep hearing, for us in the Labour Party, we keep going back to what is the community. There is a way that you go with people that as long as you are with them in their pains and in their sorrow, you will be able to understand what they are going through and be part and parcel of the solution. And anybody that comes with an idea without taking cognizance of the actual needs of the people, that person is not a community worker. The person does not really, you are coming back. Who told you that you alone, your brain, is better than the brain of for us in Plateau, almost 4 million people? No, you must listen to the people, harness it, bring your experience and exposure to bear, and then you provide the leadership that is needed to achieve a particular goal. So
well,
you have
it looks like a fine place for us to leave it here this year, and I do hope that we'll be back again, in 2023 before the elections, so you can expatiate more on your plans of actions for the Plateau people. I'd like to thank you for your time, Dr. Patrick Dakum, the Labour Party governorship candidate for Plateau State.
Thank you very much, Sulaiman, and thank you, viewers. And I look forward to coming back and talking about the economy.
We hope to do that in 2023.